Hey everybody, welcome. Deborah King, Thursday, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, and Heal, Thrive, Grow. Great to see you. Lots of things I want to talk about in the fall. Fall is just it's actually my favorite season, even more so than spring. And if you notice, my blog this week is devoted to you and to sleep. So let's talk about that for a moment. You know, we just don't realize how critical sleep is, or at least personally, I didn't until I was probably at least 30. I'm very Vata. That's that element in Ayurveda that means air. And you too might not have noticed it in your 20s that you could just, people with a lot of air especially can just stay up all night. And, and I formed that habit as a student. I was always a procrastinator. I still can do that. I can still procrastinate with the best of them. And I would wait till the very last minute and cram for exams because, like most Vatas, I learn very quickly, but I don't retain well. So it's better if I memorize the thing or read the thing the night before and then roll in and do it that way. So, I hit my 30s and I realized I didn't have what they call sleep hygiene. Zip, I had none. And I just, I could, play around all night. It does catch up with you, depending on your body type. So if I'm speaking to you and you are mostly earth, then this may not affect you as much until you're quite a bit older, maybe even into your 60s. But if you're heavily have air quality or a lot of fire, the pitta quality, and not as much of the earth quality, you will notice even more as you get older that you really, really need your established sleep routine, or you simply can't even function. And that's totally where I am. I'm just not good anymore if I haven't had a decent night's sleep. So what can you do to get a decent night's sleep, especially right now when we're changing seasons? And don't you hate it when we have to deal with coming on or off daylight savings? I just hate it. I think it's a big mistake the government's made, and they keep expanding it. It's longer now than it used to be. So if you read my blog this week, you'll see I'm suggesting a couple things that could really help you with it. Ambien is not on my list. All right. So what's wrong with those kind of things? What do I think the problem with them is? Well, number one, they're very addictive. Number two, it completely interferes with your clarity the next day. You had some sleep of some sort, kind of drugged sleep. So at least you're not, gnawing your fingernails and pacing at night. You're out. But you won't have the clarity you would have if you had even 5 hours of real natural rest. It totally interferes with your meditation. But again, the main problem with a drug like Ambien is it's habit forming. And the more you use, just like any other drug, the more you need. And if you're Vata like me, you could take it for as few as 5 days and be really hooked, and then have to, oh my God, withdraw from it. So I totally do not recommend any kind of prescription sleep medication. I really don't. It's not a good idea. Instead, I would suggest, I know this sounds like your mother, but Ayurveda would tell you to have a glass of warm milk. The properties in milk will actually help you sleep. So a glass of warm milk before you go to bed at night. Maybe add a little bit of cardamom or a little bit of cinnamon, something, to kind of sweeten it up a little bit for you. That's a great idea. Turn off your electronics. I hate to tell you this, but an hour before you plan to go to sleep, you have to turn off anything that can interfere with your melatonin production, which is anything with a light from a computer, from a television. That blue light is a killer. It totally shuts down your ability of your body during the night to produce melatonin, which you have to function. And so it's critical that for the last hour, maybe for you that's 8 to 9, maybe for someone else it's 9 to 10, but you shut off your laptop, your iPad, your phone. You just don't look at stuff, okay? Just, power it down, or I can't say I'm that radical, but I do put my laptop to sleep, and I, put my phone on airplane. And, last night you could have looked at the moon. It was amazing, big harvest moon. I hope you noticed just before we have a seasons change here, and we go. It feels like we're heading into certainly fall, if not even winter. At least on the West Coast, it's gotten very cold in the last 24 hours. And you could, you could have a fun phone conversation with a friend. You could get a reader that doesn't have blue light, and you could read something. How radical a thought is that? When's the last time you actually cracked open a book, right? I mean, honestly. You could go really old-fashioned, and you could read a book, a hardcover. Speaking of books, I have a brand new book out, Heal Yourself, Heal the World, published by Simon Schuster. You'll love it because it's not heavy, so you can lay in bed, have the book above you. It's a bigger format book, but it's soft cover. I chose it on purpose, 4-color, so that you could have a workbook, have something you could really work with and carry around, and leave someplace handy on your desk or in the kitchen or even in the car, something you can refer to, because it covers the gamut on so many subjects that are important to you, from whether you want to try to heal your pet or heal yourself, or work with your kids. I mean, it could be anything. So I forgot to mention my book. So let me do that. Heal Yourself, Heal the World. And of course, be sure to get an electronic copy. They're so inexpensive. They're like, it's like a song. And you'll want to keep it on your desktop as well. So back to sleep. A glass of warm milk, no kidding. Another really good habit to form is to take your worries, and if you're like me, you've got some, and mentally park them for the night. Don't go to bed with them. Instead, there's an old farmer's tradition of the farmer used to come home, and he would take his things out of his pockets. Today it might be his phone, his car keys, his, you name it, things he has in his pockets. And as he did so, he mentally also put in that little thing on his dresser, he put his concerns. Maybe he had concern about a son. Maybe he had concern about a note he had due at the bank. So whatever you have that's bothering you, take it out of your pockets, take it out of your energy field, take it out of your mind, and put it somewhere for the evening. Say to yourself, you know what, I'm not going to think about this at night. Even if I wake up in the middle of the night, I instead am going to enjoy that full moon I see out my window. Or I'm going to think some pleasant thoughts about joining Deborah in Hawaii for her next event, for example. But choose something to think about if you wake up at night, and choose something to dream about. Don't let your unconscious dictate what's going on. Say to yourself, what I'd really like to dream about is astral travel. I'd like to astral travel tonight. Or maybe what I'd like to think about if I wake up at 2 is my next vacation. So have a fun thought so that your mind doesn't drift back to those problems that you left over there in the basket on your dresser. All right, so a couple of other tips, and you can catch a lot of these in my blog this week. Other things that I've learned, some of them the hard way, is if you're over 25 years old, you're getting too old to exercise late in the day. You will find if you rev up your metabolism by running or doing something at the gym, or even yoga, frankly, in the afternoon or evening, it's too late in the day for your body to slow back down and go into sleep mode. You really want to get your exercise if you can before noon, honestly. If you're talking about a slow stroll under the moon, by a body of water to cool your pitta, your fire, that's a great thing to do. But otherwise, it's just too much revved up metabolism for you to sleep properly. Now let's talk about what you eat and how that can interfere with your rest big time. So of course, we all know we shouldn't do caffeine probably past lunchtime. Kind of a given, right? And that includes chocolate. Chocolate, remember, is a stimulant, so you don't want to be eating chocolate at night. So caffeine, I have no axe to grind with it, but you want to have your last cup of tea or coffee, like 1 or 2 in the afternoon at the latest. You want to eat simple at night. You want to have most of your calories at breakfast and at lunch, and at dinner have something simple, a little piece of fish, a few vegetables, a half a serving of rice. Think simple and also not spiced. Get away from spices at night. They will interfere with your rest. And the older you get, the more you will notice this. So, eat very simple in the evening. Eat early. I know this will sound totally revolutionary to you, but how about eating as early as 5:30, 6 o'clock at night? Give your body a few hours to digest so that when you go to bed, your stomach's almost empty. This is the ideal prescription for good rest. So you've left, your digestion is completed. Your metabolism isn't running at full tilt because you haven't been out running around the block or going to the gym at 5 in the evening. You have parked your concerns, your worries. You haven't worked the last hour of the evening. You also haven't watched, something like Breaking Bad the last hour of the evening, which I wouldn't recommend in any event. But I would really counsel you not to watch things just before you go to bed. Give your metabolism and your eyes a chance for the last hour to go back into an earlier time frame where we're not staring at blue lights. Again, you could, read something spiritual, have an unstressful phone conversation. That eliminates one with, your mother, your sister-in-law, unstressful. Pick a friend if you want. It's a good time to, maybe just have a fun little chat and kind of review the day. Something very, a little evening stroll next to the lake, that sort of thing. Last thing in the day, not a hot bath, be too hot. A tepid bath would be okay, but not too hot. Again, it will wake up your metabolism too much. And of course, a nice cup of warm milk. All of this will really go a long way to helping you rest properly at night. The average person needs a minimum of 7 hours, the average adult, if not 8. And it's so important that you get this every night. The Ayurveda says that, the three pillars of good health are sleep and a balanced sex life and a balanced diet. So, you want to be hitting on all 3 cylinders. You can also try breathing. And here I'm referring to pranayama, which would be, for example, breathing in, your breath, your life force energy, and then breathing out with Om, with the universal mantra of Om. And, just to sort of like get the breath circulating. Now I'm going to talk about the last, but the most important part of your rest. And this is going to be the one that's going to be the hardest for you. I know it's easy to, start doing the warm milk thing. It's pretty easy to give up an hour of your favorite show and read something soothing and relaxing. But how about the hour you go to bed? And this is always the hardest thing. So many of us form habits where we're night owls. And that's fine, again, if you're mostly the kapha element, if you're mostly earth, but most people aren't. Less than, let's say, 10% of the population, if I think of how the Ayurvedic types balance out. So less than 10% of the world is principally kapha, because being principally, by dosha is very unusual. So not very many people fall in that category. And they're the ones that travel easily, that awake tomorrow in a foreign country and sleep like a rock. Whereas the other 90% of us, when we travel, we have a terrible time falling asleep when we have jet lag. When at home it's nighttime, and here where we are, all of a sudden it's reversed. We find it very difficult. So the key thing for you to really get good rest is to go to bed quite a ways before midnight. I know this is a shocking thought, especially if you're in a big city where there's nightlife and so much activity at night. But in fact, we're not that many years, are we, from our origins as a species. And as a species, we are accustomed to going to sleep when the sun goes down and waking up just before the sun comes up. Now, I used to live on a farm. I raised a lot of farm animals, and I saw how skillfully and successfully they do this. Despite the fact that you might leave lights on out at the barn, they don't like that, by the way, and they're very clear in telling you that. But they disregard those lights, and they go to sleep with the setting sun, and they wake up about an hour before dawn. That's what your body is actually programmed to do. And so you're fighting Mother Nature pretty hard when you stay up really past 10. That's starting to push the envelope pretty hard. You can do it when you're younger, maybe even in your 40s, but you're going to get a little older, you're going to find you're going to have to change your habits. So you might start working at it a little bit now. The way to do it is in 10-minute increments. You go to bed 10 minutes earlier than you normally do. You normally go to bed at 11, go to bed at 10:45 or 10:50. Do that for a month. Get yourself up 10 minutes sooner and slowly, very slowly adjust yourself. The hours before midnight are by far where Ayurvedically you get your most important rest. It has to do with your biorhythms and your circadian rhythms. And so the sleep before midnight is the most valuable sleep. Truly, it is. So, work at it. Maybe it'll take you a couple of years to kind of shift things, and that's all right. Never be hard on yourself. Never set yourself up for failure. Always pick a small project, a small task. And don't ask yourself to do too many things at once. I remember when I quit drinking, for example, I waited a long, long, long time before I tried to quit smoking, because I know how hard it is to demand too much of yourself. And then if you fail, it's so devastating, isn't it? So don't set yourself up for failure. Set yourself up for success. If you think you're not sleeping well and you're tired all the time, I would say try a 10-minute sleep adjustment. I would say take a power nap every day. Just stop everything. No one's probably going to care. Stop everything and take a not to exceed 20-minute nap. Never sleep for more than 20 minutes in the daytime. Again, it'll interfere with your night's rest, and don't do it past 3 in the afternoon. You want to take a 20-minute power nap, even a 10-minute power nap. You're in great company. You're like President Kennedy, who took a nap every day, or more than one. So did I can't think of her name right now, but the Prime Minister in England. She took a nap every single day. And so I recommend that to you. Just, just shut everything off and go for it. If you work in an office and that is an unheard of concept, hey, go to your car. Your car is your best place to nap, your best place to meditate, and often your best place to eat. So thank God for cars, right? All right. I really want you to get more rest. I want you to feel just supercharged during the day. I want you to feel okay about taking that power nap, and I want you to try to adjust your sleep time just a hair. Just think 10 minutes. Always be so easy with yourself. Never be hard on yourself like maybe some parent or teacher or caregiver was. Nix that idea. Be really, really nice to you. Honor yourself. Thank yourself for how amazing you really are. And look at all the things you've accomplished, okay? The stuff you've accomplished is amazing. All right, let's get some people to talk to. And I see we have a bunch of people on. And I'll start with, can't see who it is. It just says Catherine. And I'll also invite, it says Katie Rose says she has a question. So I'll invite 2 people, see if they can join me. And then I'll scroll over to the screen that tells me if they're headed this way. Nope, it's not that one. It's this one. And I'll try Katie Rose again. It didn't take. And it says Catherine G needs reprompting. Okay, Catherine G, I'm going to reprompt you. Not too sure about those 2. Not seeing them popping up here. So remember, gang, to talk to me and for me to see you and help you, I need you on Crowdcast. That's the way to come here. Here's Jan. We'll try Jan out. And Maria Espinosa, we'll see if she can join me. We'll see how those 2 are doing. So far, no one is popping up next to me. What is going on? It says invited. Not sure what's happening. I'm going to let it sit for just a minute, okay, while someone's trying to come join me on camera. And while we're waiting, I will mention that I have a really fun chakra quiz on Facebook I'd love for you to take if you haven't yet. The whole thing only takes under 5 minutes, and will give you a great idea of how your chakras stand. Honestly, I mean, it's entertaining, but it has a serious element to it that we know which chakra you need to work on the most for sure when you're done. Okay. Are you guys trying to get up via Crowdcast? Because thus far, I am seeing no one. Kathy Hetwer. And how about Vedran? Let me try those two people. Otherwise, there's something wrong with the system because I don't normally run into this problem. Vedran and Kathy are coming. That would be great. All right.
Hi, Deborah. I don't have a question. I'm just listening to the show today.
Oh, all right. Great to see you. Let's talk about sleep if you're here. What are your sleep habits like, Kathy?
You know, I'm pretty good with sleep. I try and get to bed by 10. For the last 2 weeks, it's been a little bit late, and I noticed the difference. So going back to 10, and I usually am up around 5:30 for meditation. So
well, good for you. So you're getting 10 and a half hours, apart of 7 and a half.
Yeah, that's about right for me.
You don't feel sleep lacking, and I really pick it up in people when they're sleep deprived. One of the first things I sense. How has the pain level been? Now, for those of you who are new to my show, I know Kathy. She's actually in my advanced program. She's one of my advanced practitioners, and you've dealt with pain for eons.
Yeah.
Ever since you had a surgery.
Right. Yeah, it's been 17 years, but I have a different relationship with pain now.
Right. I know that you have quite a story. You cope with it through having discovered meditation over here, and it's been revolutionary for you.
Yes, meditation is my new medication. I haven't taken medication in 10 years.
That's a great catchphrase.
Yeah,
it
changed my life.
Yeah. And tell everybody what city you're in.
I'm in Oak Grove, about 40 minutes north and a bit of Minneapolis.
Okay. I bet it's freezing there, huh?
It's a little early for it to be snowing and chilly, but I love it here. My pitta likes to be in the cool weather. And like you, I love the fall. I really do.
I love the fall, but I'm not talking about snow or anything, okay? I'm loving the fall with a lot of golden leaves and, a 78-degree temperature is my idea of fall, but I'm California.
I also work with a really skilled cranial osteopath. Did an amazing adjustment on me today, and I do feel a good amount of relief. I
bet that would be actually very good for the kind of pain you've had. I feel quite a connection there for you.
Yeah.
Well, great to see you, Kathy.
Well, thank you. I'm glad the Crowdcast is working.
Yeah, wonderful. And Vedran. Vedran is in France. What city, Vedran?
Yeah, I'm in northern France. It's the name of the village, Saint-Anglover. It's near the Calais.
Near Calais?
Calais, yeah.
Yeah, and
we can hear on the news.
11:30 at night, am I right?
10:30. We changed the clock.
Oh, that's right. You just changed your clocks. And so tell us about your sleep habits. How are they?
It's interesting. Yeah, I'm sleeping kind of like a baby, maybe even too much. I have hard time going out of the bed in the morning. So
what time do you go to bed at night?
I don't have between 10 and 11. It depends on my practice. Sometimes 3 times a week I have practice from 6 to 8. Oh,
you're playing volleyball
PM.
at that hour.
Yeah.
Oh my. So for those of you who are watching the show, Vedran is a professional volleyball player in France, and I bet that really revs up your metabolism to play volleyball at night. Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of challenging because
Very.
I'm hungry after the practice,
Right.
and I come home at 9 after shower and everything. So in eating and going to sleep and waking in the morning.
When I used to work on the road touring, I used to speak it almost every night, especially when I was in Europe. And you finish speaking, you're finished greeting people, it's 10 o'clock, you go back to the hotel, it's 11, you have dinner. I mean, I have to eat after I've worked. I have dinner, it's midnight, and I'm just really moving. My metabolism is spinning. You fall asleep about 2 or 3, and you have to get up at 5 to be on television at 6. I did that a lot, yeah. You feel very healthy, Vedran. Very young, very healthy, very solid, very balanced. I'm not picking up any issues, even though you are working some nights. Yeah, your whole energy field is quite vibrant.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Great to see you guys. Thanks for coming. And let me go over here and see who's next. Let me see if I can pick some. So I don't have a name here, but it's Dennis. Is it Dennis or Denise? I think it's Dennis. Dennis, I'll give you a second to see if you can join me here. And Lourdes. Let me give these people a chance. So let's see, I've got to get back over. Looks like Lourdes is making it. I'm not too sure about Dennis. Dennis, can I see you yet? It says on screen, but I'm not seeing you. Let's give him a second. So we talked briefly about the fact that...
Hi, Deborah.
Hi, is that Lord?
Yes.
Hi there. What city are you in?
I'm in Cancun, Mexico.
Wonderful. And that sounds like a very French name. It's not?
I think it is, but I'm Mexican, 100%. Yes.
Yeah, because it's not only a French word, but it's a French place.
And a virgin also.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the Virgin, right.
Yes.
So tell me your question. Great to see you.
You too. Thank you. Well, I've been working on the sutras for about 6 months, maybe.
So you took the Be a Modern Masterclass.
Yes. And I loved it. And it's become a very important part of my day. I never miss it.
Mm-hmm.
At first, when I first started working on the sutras, I would feel a very heavy feeling here on my 6th chakra. But then, some things happened. I moved to Cancun, and my life has been kind of settling now in some other place. And I stopped having the feeling on my chakra, and now I don't feel anything. I feel like I'm kind of stagnant. I keep reading about all these people who say that their lives have changed so much, and I don't feel any changes. So I'm wondering if maybe I'm doing something wrong. No?
Not at all. Here's what happens is when your energy field changes, you can feel it at first if you're very sensitive like you are. Mm-hmm. And after a matter of days or weeks, you adjust to it. You totally adjust, and then you're like, well, what happened? Did I lose something? Did it go flat? You haven't lost anything. You've simply adjusted to an expanded, more open field.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. The gift is still there. I can see it very clearly in you.
Oh, that's great to hear, Deborah. Thank you. Because I was wondering, sorry?
No, go ahead.
I was wondering that maybe all these changes in my life had me kind of distracted or something, and maybe that was what was making me stop feeling changes or
No.
I don't know. Mm-hmm.
No, your practice is very solid. Your chakras are very open. Your field is balanced. You've just adjusted, and so it feels flat after you've felt the expansion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what happened? Like kind of like the day after a party. But all that's happened is you've adjusted.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Deborah.
Yeah,
It's
great
great
to
talking
see
to you.
Yeah, congrats on all your accomplishments. You've done a lot of hard work here.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. And that's Dennis, right? Hi, Dennis.
Yes. Hello.
Hello. I remember you from an earlier show. How can I help you?
So I have a question. I was with a friend who is psychic and clairvoyant, and she said that I don't really meditate. But I do meditate like twice a day and with sutras, right? So she said that I am too much in my mind, and probably that's why I don't hear and connect to my guides very well yet.
Now, why are we giving this friend all of this power?
I don't know. I kind of believed her because I would like to connect with my guides more and listen to them. I do kind of, but I would like to do that a bit more, and also, I don't know, have a ability of channeling. Maybe.
And what was the last word you said?
To have ability of channeling.
Well, let me just talk about you for a minute. Now, this doesn't apply to somebody else. This is strictly for Dennis. What city are you in, Dennis?
So I'm in Slovenia, Ljubljana, the capital.
Right. So I'm not so sure your friend is correct, for one. And number two, channeling is not the gift that you're necessarily going to develop next.
Okay.
It feels like it's going to be more important for you to get a really solid earth connection. Your upper chakras are already quite open, but it feels like you feel a little bit like an upside down pyramid. In any event, I'm not picking up enough energy at the lower part of your field.
Okay.
I'm wanting to charge your legs, connect you more to the earth than higher channels. Your higher channels are already open. So I would encourage that, maybe more outdoor stuff.
Okay.
What do you like to do outside?
So I do like to meditate outside and walking barefoot on the earth and grass and hugging trees, and also doing sun gazing.
You guys are pretty far north, right? Slovenia?
It's more or less like
latitude of what? Paris? No, you're not that far north.
A bit below Paris.
Yeah, so it's still fall. Maybe
Yeah.
a little cold for walking barefoot, right?
Yeah, but still, I like to do that.
Good for you.
Until the snow comes.
Yeah, well, I want to encourage you to get a little more outdoor time and a little less indoor. That's where you need the development most, is your first, second, and third chakras. I can feel it really strongly. I'm sending you energy as we're talking, and I would love for the Mother Earth to send you more up through your legs. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to see you. You take care. Hi, who's our next caller? Sally?
Hello. Hi. Hi, Deborah.
Hi there. How can I help you?
Oh, thank you. Very nice to see you. I'm thrilled to come on.
Wonderful. Where are you,
you.
Sally? What city are you in?
I'm near Hampton Court Palace, just outside London and in the UK.
Okay. We can hear your lovely British accent. You know, Americans love accents. You do.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I was a teacher for 35 years. But I went through, I had to help my son, who was kind of depressed, but I kind of feel he was having a spiritual kind of breakthrough almost at some level. I raised my children alone. I've done a lot of teaching. I've written a book.
What's your
I'm
book
kind
called?
of. It's called "Remember Who You Truly Are." It's been called a radical new spiritual life handbook. I felt like I downloaded it, but at the moment I'm struggling with like acid reflux. But also my base chakra, and there was grief kind of through watching my son.
Tell me about your meditation.
I need to be doing more.
I'm not picking up a strong meditation base. I'm having trouble kind of putting my finger on it.
Yeah.
Are you a little bit sporadic there?
Yes, I need to be doing something
I'm
regularly.
being polite, right?
No, absolutely. No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah, that's where I think, Sally, I think that's where you need to focus and not on anything else.
Okay.
If you don't have I taught you how to meditate?
I was just kind of almost like meditating. I taught kids to meditate as well, but even just like, I'm very kinesthetic, even like with my hands, I feel energy. But yeah, I'm happy to.
Yeah, I would love to teach you how to meditate. If you swing over to my website and just click on the Learn to Meditate thing.
Okay.
I would recommend that. I'm not picking up a base in you, and I don't like how scattered you feel. It's too scattered. Also,
yeah, I feel
dealing with a great deal of unprocessed grief, and a real meditation program will process it for you. It's not like you need to like journal or attend classes or anything like that to clear this grief. You need to meditate. And the meditation, literally done properly twice a day, the way I teach it, will just wash it off for you.
Okay.
You won't be carrying it around with you anymore. You're dealing with a lot of grief and a lot of scattered thinking that's interfering with you living your life.
Yeah.
And honestly, really, if you just meditate, this will all fix itself in about 3 weeks.
Wow.
You will feel like a different woman.
Okay, I'm with you. Totally.
When I teach meditation, I send you your own mantra.
Okay.
Something that's designed for you. So
how do I
just swing over to my well, I guess you can just get in there through Facebook.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
So go to your website.
Mm-hmm.
Just go to your website.
Yes.
Yeah. The grief is sitting with me. I've had quite a lot of abuse from my birth family as well, and it's just not aligning with me. It's not who I've come here to be, and So do I kind of disconnect from them as well at the moment? My brothers.
I'm not sensing that. I just think that there's a lot of confusion and distraction and scattered thinking. It's from stress, the stress of grief.
Yeah.
Grief is a stressor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not from my father then, but it was from watching my son like that, or?
Oh, it's from all those things, Sally. Yeah, all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So go to your website.
Yes, and grab my Learn to Meditate. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Right. That's my practice then. Thank you.
So glad you stopped by. Take care.
Thank you so much. So may I just ask you, kind of going forward, what do you see as my kind of path, really?
I'd like to put that question off. Come back in 3 weeks.
All right.
Just meditate every day for 3 weeks and come back. And I think it might be very clear.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
God bless you. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And Cindy, I think, is working at coming up. And let's see who else is over here. I'll invite, oops.
Hi.
Is this Cindy?
Yes, it is.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, what city are you in?
Tolland, Connecticut.
Town?
Tolland, Connecticut.
All right, all right. Well, how can I help you, Cindy?
Gonna move the microphone closer. Can you hear me all right?
I can, I hear you just fine.
Okay. I did the Becoming a Modern Master, and I think it was
excellent. Mm-hmm.
It was probably 2 months ago, and I think it's maybe either the last module or the one before that, I was kind of surprised because you said, if you want, I can remove your Reiki symbols, and you explained why. So I thought, okay, I never really was one to do Reiki on people. I was mostly doing it for myself. And so I said, okay, at this time before your class, I had been meditating, but I never had a mantra. I've had a little difficulty getting used to doing that. I used to feel like I got deeply into meditation a lot of times and have had some experiences through it. And lately I've felt like I'm not connected to whatever I was. I always did like an angel card reading on myself. And even with doing some oracle card readings, I felt, I did feel a connection. I don't know. And I have been working at listening to any information I get, but I feel like it's more distant now. I've also been working
What city are you in again?
Tolland, Connecticut.
I thought you said. Well, here's what's going on. Kind of unusual. It's sort of an unusual situation. You were connected to an energy not yours. I'm hearing not hers. That was not positive for you.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And by doing the sutras and eliminating the Reiki symbols, you have cleared yourself of that.
Okay.
So the feeling you had before that you thought was connection to the light was actually connection to that energy.
I don't know where I would get something like that.
Lots of places. There are lots of chances of that happening.
Wow.
So the good news is it's gone.
Okay.
You look very clear to me.
Good.
You look a little bit, now I'm going to switch gears and talk physical for a minute. I'm picking up a little bit of depletion.
I've been working for the past 5 or 6 weeks, taking a lot of supplements. I kind of resonated with what the medical medium was saying as far as the Epstein-Barr virus and depleted adrenals.
Who gave you this advice?
Anthony William, his book, Medical Medium. And I talked to a medical intuitive that he trained, and she put me on about 15 different supplements that I've been taking now.
It's a little too much of something. I want to consider having you connect just with Mother Nature and your own body for a bit, and not so many supplements. There's something there that is depleting you.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I want to throw out for your consideration the idea of you being filled not by outside sources, but by your own connection to spirit, which is very strong. So you don't need as much help as you think you do.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, that would feel good to me because I've been trying to go gluten-free, knock out dairy, knock out eggs.
Well, that sounds like too much all at once, Cindy. Let's just pick one item.
Well, I know with eggs, I when I stopped having those, I realized I was itching a lot from having that. And
that's
dairy,
a very common symptom with eggs, by the way.
Yeah. And dairy makes me very stuffy. My sinuses.
That's common.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with eliminating gluten. That's practically everyone does that these days. It's over 40.
I didn't think I had a problem with it, but I was willing to give it a try.
Yeah, most people do. But other than that, I'd like you to, I'd urge you, like from now until the end of the year, say to yourself, you know, I have all the answers within. I am a wise being. I am Deborah's assured me I'm really connected to my higher self, that's your 8th chakra, and to source. I don't really need to be consulting about my health or, a lot of other things. I'm going to just listen to my own guidance for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of put you in the driver's seat a bit. You feel like you've been disempowered by someone.
Mm-hmm. I've kind of gotten the message a couple of times that it's popped up in different ways. Like I'll hear somebody say it, or it'll be in a reading that the answers are always within.
They are.
And so
especially important for you. This is a message, a real important message I'm being told to give you.
Okay.
To re-empower you a bit. All right.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure. I just got your new book, which I'm reading.
Wonderful.
And I didn't know if maybe that's enough for now before going on to another course or whatever.
No, it's plenty for now, because it's all about you healing yourself and then you taking that power and you healing those around you. Whether it's your pets, your friends, your kids, your grandkids, your neighbors. You are so much more capable, Cindy, than you realize. There's a pattern here from childhood where you were disempowered as a child, and you're repeating it, and you don't need to anymore. You're a full-grown woman. You're a very capable woman. You have all kinds of gifts of your own to share.
Okay. It's probably from my mother being sick when I was a kid.
I think so. All right. Glad you stopped by. Really nice to see you.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
God bless.
And let's see. Got some more questions over here. How about Karen? Oops. Hold on a second. I pushed the wrong button there. And Kat. I'm going to give these gals a chance to join me. And while we're waiting, just a reminder that I still have a couple spots in my Hawaii workshop. I think it starts on the 7th of December. It's at my favorite island, Maui, and my favorite hotel at Maui, the Grand Wailea. And we still have a couple of rooms. So, let us know if you're trying to get in and trying to get there. Okay, it's going to be a really intimate workshop. It's one of the ones that we have that's smaller, so I can really work with people. So if you're trying to have a really good time in Hawaii, this would be the time to come. Let's see how we're doing with these folks and see if they're able to come join me. It says accepting and connecting. We'll give them a minute, huh? And here we have
Kat.
Hi, Kat.
Hi.
Great to see you. What city are you in?
London.
London. All right. How can I help you? You have your favorite friend in your lap.
Yes, that's Hugo.
Hugo. Oh my, how cute.
I took your Mother Master course during summer, and I was doing really well with the meditation. And then I just stopped because I've had so many challenges. And since then I have not been meditating. And my boyfriend has
time to start up again.
Yes.
What did you say about your boyfriend? You said he'd been
my
sick?
boyfriend has been, he had a stroke 2 years ago.
Sorry to hear
And
that.
then he's been very stressed, and just yesterday we found that he started collapsing, and yesterday we went to specialist, and he told us that he has epilepsy and will have to have medication for his entire life.
So I think when they rethink it now, are they sure he had a stroke, or was that perhaps an epileptic?
No, he had a stroke, and then he
was a
had, craniotomy. He had an operation on his brain for like 10 hours to remove the clot in his brain.
Mm-hmm. And that was 2 years ago?
Yes.
And what is their thinking about the cause of the epilepsy? Were they able to track it? Does it have anything to do with the surgery?
Well, the doctor said that there is still some blood in his brain, and there is damage in his right part of the brain. And every time that he goes into that epileptic episode, he says that he has that he sees images and light coming into his eyes, and then he just basically blacks out.
Well, let's talk about you for a moment, if I may.
Yes.
You feel a little bit stressed by this.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Are you working?
Yes and no. I am a designer, but since this happened, I stopped working in my field, and for the last few months, I've been looking after a little boy just to earn some money.
And is your boyfriend able to work?
Yes, but the thing is that he's working during nights. He's a bar manager, and he's been working all his life during night. Yes, that's exactly what you've been talking about today.
I bet that's very.
Doesn't help.
No, it's an increasing difficulty for him. Mm-hmm. Is there anything, Kat, you think he could do about that, where he could get a day job?
He's very stubborn, and he thinks that there's no other way for him. I'm sure that he there's always other ways, but that's the problem with him. I think if he started to meditate and chill out a little bit more, then that would definitely help.
Would help. But interestingly enough, your meditating and chilling out will help almost as much as him doing it.
Mm-hmm.
We with our partners and our intimate family members, our practices and our energy field have an amazing impact on their energy field. Mm-hmm. So if you can hold a balance within yourself, and this is challenging, I realize, but you love him so much, I bet you can pull this off. Mm-hmm. You have to be sitting in silence a couple times a day where you're pulling all that energy from the unified field into you, and it will automatically be shared with those in your immediate environment. That's him. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's how it works.
Right.
We can't ever make somebody else do something for themselves or their health, but look what you can do for yourself that will very directly affect him, very directly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would encourage you just to focus on your own practice.
Mm-hmm. Also, I have another question. Prior to his stroke, he has been bullied at work and seriously harassed. Mm-hmm. And I've been dealing with with those issues. He has a court case. And do you think that I should just abandon and move on from all of this? That maybe this is throwing both us down?
It's a case outside of the scope of the employment division of the state. It's a separate case. Mm-hmm. Or is it part of because I'm not familiar with how the courts are structured there. When you say it's a case, is it part of?
He had an employment case from which he withdrew because we have 3 months 3 months cutoff date, and some of the issues were outdated. So his lawyer is advising him to take the case to civil court, and this one has like 6 years.
How upsetting does your boyfriend find this whole thing on a scale of 1 to 10? Thinking about it.
Well, 10.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My
But I think that he just wants this justice, that he thinks that he was wrong so badly. And because of not having that closure in his life, he's just carrying all these bad emotions.
But at what price? You see, we pay a terrific price for these things. And I typically suggest to people that they might be way happier not involved in litigation. It's extremely stressful.
It is.
Even when you win, you lose. That's the bad part. So you might also lose, but you can also luck out
walk away.
And you still lose in a way because you give up part of your soul.
So much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not, I mean, I managed to practice law for a long time without litigating because I think it's so unhealthy for people. Such an unhealthy arena. So I would think about it pretty hard.
Yes.
You might get better closure, the two of you having a ceremony that you devise where you decide to let go of it. I would encourage you to do this. I'd get candles. I'd get an image of the horrible experience. It could be a photo or a document from the lawsuit. And I would burn it and give it up to spirit and feel so free of it because you can build your own closure. You really can.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it will really improve his health and your happiness. Yeah.
I think I would be able to move on to, things that I love to do.
I'd really like to see you go back to your design work. See if you can maybe do that in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, because remember, you have your own life and your own path in addition to being a caregiver.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Very
Great.
nice.
Thank you so much,
Talking
Deborah.
with you, Kat. Take care.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Karen, right?
It is. Hi.
Hi, Karen.
I'm currently in a hotel room in Nashville.
All right.
Yeah,
How can I help
traveling
you?
for work. Well, when you were talking earlier about the sleeping, like today, my meetings got moved to tomorrow, so I've kind of just been in my hotel room and I'm not able to focus, and I'm wondering if there's anything that you could
fly in there? Did you just arrive in Nashville from?
It was yesterday, yeah. Caught a like 3:30 a.m. flight from Portland.
It's a business trip?
Yeah.
You're there by yourself?
But yeah.
That's always, I have to say, I've done a lot of it and I never liked it or got good at it.
Yeah.
I always am kind of just unnerved being by myself.
Yeah, maybe like
the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
fact, I hardly ever leave the hotel room usually. I just go to the meeting or
I haven't left.
No, I know. I totally get it. Yeah. I would recommend things like a clearing bath with salt and baking soda, in the hotel room. I would get room service. I'd get a good movie. I'd meditate. Your time change is what, a couple hours, right? From Portland to Nashville, is it 2? Yeah. So that you're rested for your event tomorrow.
Okay.
And, maybe hang out a little bit on Facebook or someplace where you feel comfortable and you can see some friends.
Yeah.
Feel like you're connecting with people. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the critical thing is it's really overwhelming to travel by yourself.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that you said that made me a little bit nervous is I did do your Be a Modern master course and absolutely loved it.
Thank you.
And then about a month ago, I kind of went lax on the meditation.
That's okay. You can come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been in and out. And for whatever reason, when I meditate now, it's the hardest thing to remember the sutras. So
we'll get your little cheat sheet back out.
Okay.
That's okay, you know. Yeah. You better don't have them on your laptop though, because you know, you peek at your laptop, you get too much bright light. That thing should be on sleep when you're meditating, and you know, just get your little, you know, like you did in the beginning. You're just sort of relearning them, and that's perfectly normal and natural. And there isn't a one of us that hasn't fallen off at some point due to some life events. Sure, of course.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. You look. I want to tell you how healthy you look. And for everybody who's watching on Facebook, Karen is really healthy. She's got a lot of earth, by the way. One of those earth people that could actually stay up and watch a late movie, not like the rest of us.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, you do. You're very strong in earth. You're a
All right.
You're a Pitta Kapha. You're mostly fire, but / earth. Yeah, lucky you. I bet you have like nice strong bones and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought that was the German part of me. Like I could plow a field by myself.
It's the earth part.
Okay. All right. Good.
Well, wonderful to see you. Good luck in Nashville.
I'll be back to meditating. I
All right.
love the encouragement.
You take care. Yeah, jump right back in. And for all of those of you who are nodding and saying, "Oh, I'm like Karen, that's me, I fell off." Just come back to it. Just come back to it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no, great to see you. Bye-bye. So guys, great being with you today. See you again next week. And until I see you again, you take care.